Please like, subscribe, and be sure to click that bell button for regular and exciting indie film content and your chance to be the first to engage with the Liftoff Global Network of Film Festivals as we embark on launching the careers of the filmmakers of tomorrow.
Hello everyone and welcome to today's stream. Today we are talking to Wayne, who is one of our first-time Hollywood Filmmakers Audience Choice winners. So Wayne, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about who you are and what your project was?
Well, I'm Wayne Toney. My company was based in Houston, Texas, and we've now moved to Kentucky, little small town of Kentucky is where we're based out of. But about 8 years ago, we started my company, Spotlight Video Creations, and that company was strictly for real estate projects and small corporate commercials, things such as that. And it led to doing a little bit more. And I was actually doing we'd been filming for about maybe 2 years and done several projects for companies. And I was filming a commercial for Studio 88 Photo Design. They do photos on the creepy side, on the gore side, a lot of makeup work, and they had asked me to film behind the scenes. They wanted to put a commercial together that showed a full day of a photo, how it often comes about. After they were given their product, everything put together, the owner of the company, Heather Hensley, she approached me and she said, "Have you ever thought of doing a short film? We think you'd have a really good chance." When I would do their project, what we had to do was not only do we have to film the makeup application, we had to film on the photo shoot. So each pose that they would put their subject into, I would have to create a movement, a cinematic scene that would put that character in that position. So, and I've always liked telling a story, so that was something I really enjoyed doing. And when she asked about doing a short film, my eyes kind of perked and my ears kind of perked, and because I'd always wanted to do a short film, because once again I like telling a story, but I had never done a short film. Didn't even know where to start.
That's what I was going to ask you. Was it something that you always wanted to do, or was this just someone planted a seed and you were just like, actually, I really do want to make a short film? But if it had been niggling away at you, what an amazing...
It had been, even something as small as, I'd already done some music videos for a songwriter in Nashville named C.W. Fields, and he's with the Nashville Songwriters Association. I had done some music videos for him, and in those videos, he let me write the scene, write the script, put the story. But in doing this, it was just me, and I have another associate that films with me, Zia Batiste. We would kind of direct the actors. In other words, they had no script. They were just there was no dialogue for them. They were just doing scenes, but it was telling a story still. And so when she asked me about doing the short film, I was really interested. And she had won, as I mentioned, several awards through a film festival called Creepy Tree, based in Texas. Yeah. And she said, if you do something gory, something with a creepy thing to it, we'll help you with the makeup. And we think you'd have a good chance in Creepy Tree. So that was how the creepy theme came about, to do a creepy film, or for this short film. And in the process of doing this, the founder of Creepy Tree passed away, and they dissolved that film festival. So being so far along in the project, I didn't want to stop.
I think it's obviously very unfortunate that the festival had to come to a close because of what happened. But I think on the other hand, you're very fortunate that you chose that category and something a little bit creepy, a little bit horror orientated, because it is definitely a genre that does very well on the festival circuit. So I feel like we can move into the festival circuit a little bit later and talk a bit more about that. But as you continue telling us a little bit more about how the film came around, I just want to get it started playing so our audience can visually see what we're talking about at the same time. And on that note, if you are watching this live and you have any questions for Wayne throughout the stream, please do put it in the chat room. The chat room is open. We can ask Wayne any questions that you may have. If you are watching this afterwards and you have any questions that you'd like to ask, please do put it in the comments below, and we always check back and can answer any questions that you may have there. So Wayne, I'm just going to get your film playing. Why don't you continue your story about what happened after that festival came to a close?
So we had our first film session. I think it was in February of 2021. I want to say like towards the end of February. And shortly after we started filming is when the founder of Creepy Tree did pass away. And once again, we had already started filming, and I was so excited about putting this together. I didn't want to stop. And we just kept going with it. And when we did this film, we did it strictly. I wanted to do it in-house. In other words, I didn't want any other companies helping out. I wanted to see what we could do or what I could do, me and my team, just us. And this being our first, for me, my first film to actually wrote the script. When I sent the script off to the casting agent, I was kind of on the fence. Is she going to like this script? Is she going to get back with me? I didn't know. I didn't know if I'd hear from her or not. And after about a week, maybe 2 weeks, I got a phone call, and she told me that she was really impressed with the story, and she thought the script. And this is my first script. Believe it or not, I took a course on script writing for this project.
Perfect.
And so she asked me to send her some of my characteristics I was looking for in my cast. Age, gender, and she was going to send out some of the lines to different actors that she knew, and have them send me their audition, I guess.
So actually, one of my questions is about the casting and your process, because I too, when I was watching this film, was looking at the cast that you have, and they are fantastic. And hearing that this is your first film, a lot of filmmakers head to the platforms where they can kind of seek actors themselves or put a casting call out themselves. And we've heard obviously mixed stories about how that's gone, whether it's been amazing or a horror story in itself. So I'm really curious to understand your process with working with a casting director. You said that you had to just send over some key features that you were interested in the characters, and how did it go from there?
Well, once again, she had asked, like my age I was looking for, my Hispanic, American, and if there's any specifics, and basically I was open at that time. I was open for anything. I was just so excited to finally have people, or to try to have people to put this story to film, to the screen. But I did give her some of the characteristics I was looking for, the ages I was looking for. And I just let her do the fishing, I guess, from people that she knew. And everyone that came to me, well, actually, let me take that back. 2 of them came to me through her company, through her agency. And the other 2 had found about it through word of mouth.
Nice.
And one of them was actually from someone that was one of my other characters that was in the play, or in the film, I'm sorry. And that's how we found our cast.
Amazing. So, first time filmmaker, ever directed actors before, apart from through music videos and the corporate? I guess not.
No. Never done any. Never did any directing at all, as far as telling someone what to say, how to move when they say it,
what your intentions are, why you're
exactly.
doing something. So
never.
What was your approach?
Oh, my approach was I mean, I knew in my head, I could see in my head, because in script writing, there's a lot of, you pretty much do a diagram of what you want the actors to be doing and what scene you want to be doing as their dialogue is being said. And I had it in my mind, I knew what I wanted them to be doing. They didn't know what I was going to have them be, how, the movement I was going to have them do, or whatever I said during that dialogue. So I guess to answer your question, my approach was I don't even know how to say, just to put what was in my head to transfer it over to them, and let's see if they could follow my
Trust the
my vision.
process, I guess, is
Exactly,
the
yeah.
best way. Give the artists the freedom to express themselves, and if there is
Correct.
something that you didn't quite like, find a way to tell them how to do it in a different way.
That was the way. That was the process right there. And the character in Price to Pay that plays the wife, she had done other projects. This wasn't her first time to be on the screen, you know. And I was very fortunate. Reese Ravencraft. I was very fortunate that she was in this project, you know, and because she did help out a lot for me, you know, giving me some pointers as far as what the other actors should be doing, she thought. So did that answer your question?
Yeah, no, it's just I come from an acting background, and it's very interesting for me to hear different directors' approaches, especially ones that haven't necessarily had formal training or understanding the best way to connect to an actor and how that works. And
well, I told all the actors when we had our casting meeting before we started filming, they all got the script, and I said, read the script, and if you have any ideas, I just wanted us all to have fun.
Yeah.
You know, I said, if you've got any other wording you would think would fit good here, run it by me. We'll see if it works. If it works, it works. You know, I wanted it to be something where it wasn't going to be by the wording, by the dialogue, by the script strictly. If you know, if they could want to throw something in there. If it worked, it worked. I wanted everybody to have fun.
Yeah. Amazing. And that's what filmmaking should be all about: having fun and enjoying the process, as stressful as it may be, still enjoying the process. So something else that I really wanted to talk about was the sound design. And obviously our viewers can't hear your film as it's being played, otherwise they wouldn't be able to hear our lovely conversation. But the sound design is something that instantly grabbed my attention when I first saw this project. And I just want to talk about, how did you manage to get so many amazing songs in this piece, and also focusing on building that tension through the sound? What was your process there?
Well, I was very fortunate because, once again, I had already had contacts with songwriters and through doing music videos. And C.W. Fields, I approached him about the story and told him this is what we're doing. I said, would you like to do the score and all those songs? I need songs, you know, I need music for this. And he was excited about it. And I said, well, this is what the film's about. So, you know, I want the music to go along with the theme of the film. And he did all the songs. There is one song on there, which is played at the end, called "It Is Price to Pay." And that's the first song he did for us for the film. And then all the other ones, he created his, you know, his own thoughts into it. And as far as the score goes, I gave him full control. So all the sound effects, the dramatic sounds you hear, those are all done by him. You know, he did a great job, because that, like we discussed earlier, that elevates the film to a much higher level.
And I just want to say, like, the sound design is one of the things that we always talk about here at Liftoff, and I know other festivals do as well. If you have poor sound design or something going wrong with the film, it is almost like out of competition immediately. So it's really great that you had someone on board who could help you, and to that amazing standard as well. I was going somewhere with this, and it is super expensive, or it can be as well. So to have someone within your circle who can write songs and produce the music, you're a very, very, very lucky man.
Oh, extremely. I realized that off the bat. And, you know, I can give Carlos is what he goes by, but it's CW, but he goes by Carlos. I can give him an idea, you know, if I'm doing, even for another, like, let's say a simple commercial project, and I need just background, something for just like that, you know. So I'm very fortunate to have him. And I could say on my team, because I know any project that I do, he's someone I can always have there.
Amazing. Hold on to them. And it goes back to the same thing. The same with locations, same with props, and same with people you know. Who is in your circles? Who can you bring into each project? And independent filmmaking, a lot of the time is all about bringing in the people you know, the props that you have access to, and the crazy, absurd, and sometimes very normal locations that you can get your hands on.
Well, as I was putting the script together, the Clubhouse app that everybody uses, I was in one of the Clubhouse rooms, and this producer or director said, never put something together that you can't actually do. So, in other words, don't write a scene that's going to be on an island somewhere if you don't have access to this island.
Absolutely.
So I kept that in mind, and every location that we used in our film was from someone that I knew. And it's, from the office scenes. I had contact with a really good friend of mine who had his own company in his office. So I said, hey, can we use your office? The barn scene, a real good friend of mine, her daughter had a barn. The restaurant, the lady that you see as the bartender in the film, she actually worked at that bar. So I approached her because I'd done some work for her before, and she'd done some work for me. And I said, do you think we can film in that bar? So every place that we filmed that for location was from someone that I knew or had contact with.
Well, for a first-time filmmaker, you're doing a lot of things right. So this is really, really great to hear. And I just want to, on a technical note, because I'm looking at the film in the corner of my eye, and the cinematography is fantastic. What camera did you use?
Believe it or not, we shot those on A7 IIIs. Not red cams, just A7 IIIs.
Wow.
When we put this together, we wanted to do something. When I say we, I've got another associate that films with me, Zia Batiste, and he's been a big help to me. We click. He knows the shots I'm going to be looking for, and he's on the same way as me. I mean, he does the shots I'm looking for. So, we didn't want to go out and get expensive cameras. We didn't want to rent cameras. We wanted to see what we could do with what we had, just to see what could we produce with what we have. And once again, those are on A7 IIIs. Amazing.
The color grade is really great as well.
Zia that's what he's known for, as colorist. He's just an amazing colorist. And once again, like you said, Natalie, I'm so fortunate. It's who we know, and the connections I have. I was really fortunate with that.
So next time, are you working on a new project?
Yeah, this is what the plan is. When I was asked by Heather about doing this short film and make it creepy, she said, I'll tell you something else. If you leave the ending opening for a second one, and the first one gets enough attention, they'll automatically be drawn to see the second one.
Absolutely.
So I did leave the ending in Price to Pay open for a second one. I've got the story put together, and it's good. It's got a twist to it. So my plans are for a second one. The characters that survived in the first one, they are excited about being in the second one.
Perfect.
And I could give you a little idea of what the second one, how it's going to lay out if you're interested. If not, I can keep it to myself.
If you can make it into a 2-sentence synopsis or log line, go for it.
Basically, it tells you how the spirit that's in the first one became.
Nice.
So you're going to do a flashback into the late 1800s.
Very cool.
And once again, Natalie, because it's like I said, who we know, where I live here in Kentucky, I've filmed 2 Civil War reenactments that took place in that time frame. So I've got my costume people, and I've got my scenes.
Perfect. That was going to be my answer. How are you going to do the art direction on this? But you've just answered it, and you already have that. Perfect.
Yeah.
Are you aware of a platform called Alta?
No, ma'am.
No. So Alta is a YouTube channel, and it only screens horror films. And it depends where you put your film, but it's an amazing platform to elevate views. I think they get between anywhere from 500,000 into the millions per film that gets onto Alta. So even to get onto that platform is obviously there's a bar. But if you can get onto that platform, it just brings so much exposure to your project. And when you're saying that you've got something else lined up, if you already have an audience behind your first one, it's not going to be hard if you need to get some funding or a producer on board or whatever it may be to help you with that next project if you have the numbers to back you up. So once you have completed this film and it's finished the festival circuit, whether you package them together and try and do like a little anthology of your shorts, there will be a home for it after. It doesn't just need to go into a drawer and never be seen again. It can maybe go onto a YouTube channel, and if it's there for the purpose of building your audience, then that is all you want out of a short film. It's rare that you'll get a distribution deal and money behind you from a short film, but it can definitely open up doors to future possibilities.
Alta,
yeah. And there are many others.
Thank you for that.
But Alta is the one that rings a bell for horror. For sci-fi, I would recommend Dusk, which is another great platform if you're into sci-fi. And then there are several others like Omeletto, which cover every single genre but focus a lot on the Academy films. If you're into documentary, Free Documentary is another great one, which focuses on documentaries. So there are niches all over YouTube, and they do have a lot of following. So it really depends on what you see or where you see your project going after it's completed the festival circuit.
Thank you for the advice on that. I'll look that up.
Definitely give it a check. And if you are looking for a producer, I would say head to Alta. It's in the same realm that you're working in. If there's a producer that you can see is based in the US or Texas or wherever, reach out to them because they've been through the process. So they can either give you guidance, or if they're super excited by your project, they might want to get on board. And that's exactly what you want. Just keep an eye out for excited yeses or quick no's. That's what you want.
Yeah. Thank you for that. I'll look that up.
No worries. So we spoke a little bit about how you got into the film industry. I can't remember if that was on the stream or if it was prior, but something that I always like to ask our filmmakers is, was there a particular moment or a film that made you realize that the film industry was the one that you wanted to work in?
I don't know if there was either of the two. I think they kind of were. I like telling a story. Okay. And even if I listen to a song, I can envision in my head a video that would go good with that song. And it's just, once again, it's just telling the story, and being creative is something I enjoy. And that's what led me to be filming like I'm venturing into. Fantastic. Now, as far as if I have to look back on my movie, is that what you're asking me? My favorite movies?
Well, I guess we could head that way. So what is your favorite film?
Something, once again, I think I told you, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Okay.
Yeah. That is just, I think the dialogue in it, and I think that era in time also is something that draws me to that film.
Who was the director of this film?
I honestly can't remember. George Clooney was the main.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see the film poster. I
don't know if he was
remember.
involved in the directing or not. I'm not sure.
Okay, well, cool. I need to rewatch this film because I haven't seen it for a very, very long time.
Yeah, it's been around for a while.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, cool. And I guess now that you are in the film industry, you are working consistently, and you've got your next project lined up. If you could have one dream project, one fantasy project that you would love to work on, what would it be?
I would love to do a project based on the Civil War. There's so many stories that are untold from that point in history, and that's what I would love to do. If I was asked to do, if I was given the opportunity, how's this, to put my own team together with no restrictions and tell a story, that's what it would be based on. There's a lot of stories untold that we that have a good meaning and could tell a good story.
And for me, war films are one of my favorite genres, if you can put it into a genre. I absolutely love it. There was one on Netflix I watched the other day. I'm going to say the title wrong, but it's like All Is Well on the Western Front, something like that.
Yes.
Have you seen it?
Actually, believe it or not, my father-in-law was just telling me about that movie
It's
not even a week
fantastic.
ago.
Yeah, I don't think it's been out like more than 2 weeks.
Yeah, he was just about a week ago he was talking about it.
It's a German film as well. Which
that's what he said. That's what he said.
It's nice to see it from the other perspective and having it on a global platform like Netflix, because we always see it from either the UK or the USA perspective. So it's really great to see the other side, and it isn't necessarily against the British, it's more against the French, but again, give it a watch if you're into that
anything based on a true story, a true event is that's what I like.
Me too. Me too.
True stories are what I like.
Great. Amazing. So I guess one of my final questions is, although we're seeing this film muted in the background, is it still on the festival circuit? And if so, where is it screening next?
I haven't put it in any other locations, Natalie.
Oh, you haven't?
No. I was actually going to see how we did with, the festival we're in now, and go from there. But I think I'm going to focus more on the second chapter. That's going to be the one that I'm really going to hit hard with the festivals.
Amazing. I think if you can, we haven't even spoken about this, which is like things that you had to overcome during the shoot, which we can do.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just seeing the credits roll on your film. So what I'm going to do is click back so we can see us on big screen, which is a bit better. There we go. So I guess my final question is, what did you learn the most from making this film that you will then put into practice into your next?
Don't rush.
Don't please.
Rush. That's the main thing I learned. Don't rush. No matter how excited you are, no matter how much you want people to see this story, to see this product, don't rush. We dealt with, when you've got cast like we had, everyone was there on their own time. Yeah. They were donating their, their time, and getting those times to line up. This person may have to be here on this time frame, and this will not be available. So that was one of the crises. That was our biggest thing, was just getting everybody on the same time page. Yeah. Because once again, they were there on their own volunteer, basically, and so I didn't want to be, I couldn't be demanding, if that's the word to say, either. So that was one of our biggest obstacles. But when, like I said, when we first started cast meeting, I wanted everybody to have fun. So we weren't stressed out as far as timing goes. If you could be here this weekend, is everybody good? We'll film this weekend.
Yeah,
that's the way it was done. That was our biggest obstacle. That I think that's what stretched us out the longest. And weather had a little factor in some filming, but other than that, it was just the timing. That was our biggest obstacle.
So yeah, I guess moving forward, it would be making a clearer schedule, and it depends how you work with the actors and how you work with your team.
Well, moving forward, there will be funding.
Perfect.
Yes. So they will be paid. So
they must be there on time then.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
Perfect.
That's the plan. And with what we've done with this film, with where we are right now, you and I talking about our film, hopefully that gives me a little bit of credibility when I go to search for outside source for funding, for investing or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. And collecting laurels for film festivals is another really great way to say that I've been quality checked and I know what I'm doing. These festivals.
Exactly. That's what my plan is. That's my.
Perfect. But I think you're on a fantastic track, and I can't wait to see the next one. So please stay in touch.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us on today's stream.
Now, the second one will run with this festival also, if that's,
Absolutely. Let me know when it is complete. Send me a message, and we'll see what we can do.
Thank you, ma'am. Sure will.
No.
Sure will.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, and
Thank you for having me.
It's been a fantastic interview, just hearing your story and hearing how the project came around and what is next. Like I said, stay in touch, and yeah, it's very exciting what you're doing.
Thank you, Natalie.
Cool.
It's
You
a
can
pleasure.
stay on the line as I turn the stream off, and thank you to everyone who watched. We're currently on 29 views, which is fantastic. So there we go. Thank you everyone for watching.